All right, here we go. My name's Jeff K, and you're listening to episode 402 of the world-famous West Virginia Surf Report podcast.
Is way out of line.
Our younger boy has started a master's program at a local university. It's in the arts field. He's taking art. He's trying to get a master's in some sort of, I don't know. It's art. And he just started it. And the first 2 weeks are intensive, some kind of an intensive thing where they have to go to the same class for 5 days a week. And you're in there for 8 hours, and you do the same thing. Each day you do something different, and you do it for 8 hours straight. Or I don't know if it's every day. I don't know if every day it changes, but it's intensive. They make you do the same thing just for hours and hours and hours. And then after that, after the first 2 weeks, it goes into more of a traditional, going to school experience. But it's intensive at the beginning, so he just finished with that part. And during the first week, there was a couple days where he had to do sketching, where he was sketching human beings, and it was like I didn't know this happened in real life. I thought this was just on TV, but they had people in there. He said they had a man and a woman, a male and a female, nude. And they had to sit there and draw these people, sketch them for 8 hours a day. It's just like new. I said, "Who are?" He was telling me about it, and I said, "Who are these people? I mean, where do they get them? How do you?" And he goes, "I don't know. I don't know if they're like." I don't know if they're other students. I don't know if they're kind of younger, I said, who in the hell? Can you imagine? I mean, I thought this was just something that you see on TV, like sitcoms or something. You go in and you're like trying to take some kind of art class, and somebody comes in and it's somebody or something. Yeah, there's always some kind of situation comedies. There's always a situation. And they try to make it into a comedy, But I didn't know that this actually happened in real life. He said there's a man, there's a woman, and you have to sit there and just draw them. And for 8 hours, I think we're in there for 2 days doing that. And like the first day, you had to do it with I don't know. One day you have to use charcoal, that kind of thing. And he was all upset about it. He's like, I don't think I'm very good at this. I said, you had to get accepted into this. And he had to submit like a 20-page portfolio. And it's not easy to get into. This is not some kind of, this isn't like some kind of like half-ass thing. This isn't a community college. This is an actual college, an actual university. And you have to get accepted into the program. I said, you got accepted into this thing. I said, they see something in you, I said, maybe you're not good at sketching some guy's ball sack. I don't know. But you're good at other things, and these other people are good at this. They're good at getting the proper shading on a male ass, But you're better at something, what I'm saying? I was trying to... He was like, I don't know. He was like all upset. He was like depressed and thinking he was like the worst one in the class and stuff, beating himself up in classic K fashion. I don't know where that comes from. Well, I do know. I do know where it comes from. But I don't want to go into all that. But anyway, but can you imagine? I mean, who are these people? Who are these people that just go in there? Yeah, I'll take all my clothes off. I said, what do you have them like sitting in the middle of a room on a box or something? He goes, kinda. He goes, that guy he had a notebook and he was like writing song lyrics. I said, with his wiener out in the open air? He goes, yeah, I mean, they were completely naked. And I was trying to draw them, and everybody else was doing a better job at it than I was. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't imagine. I can't. I don't know where they get these people. I don't know why you would do it. And I don't know how you don't snicker. I mean, I'm 61, and I would be like making comments, I mean, I don't know. But I told my dad about this, and he was like, "What in the why?" He goes, "What in the what is? Oh, this is modern education for you." He goes, I think it's just run. I think all these places are just run by weirdos and perverts. He goes, there's no reason they have to be nude. They could just be. You could draw somebody and sitting there wearing their clothes just as easy as you could do if they're nude. Why do they have to be naked? It's just a bunch of weirdos and perverts. He was going off, and then he brought it up a week later because I talked to him on Sundays. Generally, every Sunday I talk to him, and sometimes I talk in between. But he brought it up 2 Sundays in a row. So that shit's on his mind. He's like, why in the world? Why do they have to be naked? I don't understand it. It's weirdos and perverts. Anyway, have you ever been in that kind of situation? Would you ever do something like that? If I went in there nude, man, they'd have to get bigger canvases. There'd be a lot to work with. I'm telling you what, there'd be a lot to capture. It'd be a challenge. I mean, this is a master's program, so they should bring somebody in like me, because that would be a challenge. Everybody draws like chiseled, perfect shape people. Bring some fat ass like me in there, drop trowel, and they'd be like, oh my God, this is a challenge beyond, My dad's like, what do they do? Just like stick their ass up in the air and you have to draw that too? I said, I don't know. He's going on and on about it. Hilarious. But anyway, so he was telling me about that. And then they had to create their own magazine. I think the second week they had to create their own magazine, like finish it, print it and everything. And I was like, my God. He goes, I don't know. And he's like all self-conscious about it. I said, they accepted you into this program. They can see something in you. You got talent. You have talent. So, quit being so negative. I mean, I know I bitch and complain about stuff. I do. I mean, I admit that. And Tony's like, we went out yesterday. Tony and I went out yesterday. And I can't remember. We went over to Home Depot. We're pricing stuff because we need to get this house. There's some upgrades that need to be done. So we're going to have to sell this place in a few years. And we need to start the ball rolling, So we were looking at stuff in there, just pricing things, and we have no idea, We have no idea. Tony's like, I think this sink is way too big. I said, I don't think so. I think it's too small. And so I said, what we need to do is we need to measure everything and put it into our phone, the measurements, so that when we're in Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, we know exactly what we're talking about. Because you just look at it and you're like, because everything looks bigger in the store. You ever notice that? You ever bought like a piece of furniture from like Target or something? Like, that'd be perfect. Yeah, I think that'd be. It's not very expensive. It's nice looking, and I think it'll be perfect. You get it home, it's like some kind of miniature. It's like so small. You're like, what the? Look big in the store. Like, what the hell? So it's an optical illusion. You have to have the measurements, right? So we were out yesterday. I was like bitching up a storm about everything as usual. But I'm not. I'm not one of these guys that just hangs on to something. That's the difference. I make comments. I said, I comment about this. She was like, this is why I don't like to do things with you. I said, you don't like to do things with me? This is new information. She goes, well, it's irritating. It's like nonstop bitching. I said, I'm commenting on humanity. I'm commenting on the world around me. All I do is I go through life and I observe things and I comment on them. That is what I do. If it's negative, then my comment is negative. If it's positive, my comment is positive. I said, if you think back on it, if you'll remember, if you'll think about it, I say all kinds of positive stuff too. She goes, yeah, right. I said, I do. I said, I'm not. And I also, if something irritates me, which happens, I'm not going to lie to you. Things do annoy me, but I'm not the type to hang on to it. Some people, somebody cuts you off in a parking lot or something, or somebody parks their car straddling the line, taking up 2 spots, or stupid shit like that. It happens all the time. I get irritated. I'm like, look at this asshole. Look at the way he parked his car. What a piece of shit. Set that thing on fire. And then, but then I move on. I'm not, that doesn't ruin my day. I burn hot very quickly and then burn out and then move on to something else. I'm fine. I mean, I'm not one of these guys that something puts me in a bad mood. I get irritated and then I move on instantly. So there's a difference between being totally negative and being, observant, making commentary about the world around. That's what I do. I'm a reporter. Basically, that's what I am. I'm a reporter. And some of the stuff's negative. What am I supposed to do? Pretend that it's not? Anyway, she said, this is why I don't like to do things with you. I'm like, that's nice. I never heard that before, but thanks. She goes, well, I don't mean it that way, but you just go on and on and on. I said, yeah. What was my point? What was I talking about? I don't know. But I do bitch about stuff, but I don't bitch about stuff to the point where it ruins my day or something. I do a quick bitching, and I'm in and out. I get in with the bitch, and I'm quickly out, and I'm back to normal, and I'm making jokes. All I do is make jokes about things. If you say I'm negative all the time, that is just absolute. That's not true. That's just simply not true. I make comments and jokes about things all the time. I'm trying to be funny, and I feel like I achieved that goal. Some people don't agree, namely my wife. Sometimes I make her laugh, but it's difficult. She's a hard nut to crack. She knows all my tricks anyway. She could probably she knows my point of view on things, right? And she can anticipate what I'm going to say. After all these years, and there's no element of surprise. So I got to adjust to her adjustments. It's like a Major League Baseball player. You get in there, you're hitting the ball really good, and the pitchers adjust, and then you're like, oh shit, I can't hit anymore. So you got to adjust to their adjustments. That's what I have to do. She can anticipate my zingers. She anticipates my zingers all the time. So anyway, I'm not a negative person. He beats himself up, my son, and I know a little bit about that. I have no self-confidence, especially when I was younger. I still don't. But it's gotten better. But when I was young, I was like super. I had no self-esteem, no self-confidence at all. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that. Toney, speaking of negative, Toney attended some kind of retirement seminar at the local library. That was another thing. I said, yeah. I said, it's probably going to be like some kind of deal where they talk about this stuff, and then at the end they offer up. And I said it went on a coughing jag. But I said, this is another thing where she was irritated with me. She said she signed up for this thing. She's going to go. It's about retirement, Social Security, and all this stuff. I said they're gonna do like a seminar, and they're gonna teach you stuff, and then at the end they're gonna try to sell you wealth management. She goes, well, okay, then maybe I won't go. She got all pissed. I said, I'm not saying don't go. I said just be prepared that there's probably gonna be some kind of sales pitch at the end. They're gonna try to sell the services. All you have to do is say no. And she goes, I don't know why everything has to be negative. I said, I'm not being negative. I said, I have a feeling that's what it is. But, you could still get something valuable from it. God, This is the way it goes. And so she went over there. They surprisingly did not try to sell her anything, so I was wrong. But am I too far off on that deal? I mean, that's the first. Anyway, I was wrong. But anyway, but they told they gave all kinds of information. All of it's discouraging. You should have X number of dollars in your 401k. No, we don't have that. By the time you reach your late 50s, you should have between this number and this number. No. We don't have that. Also, you should never take your retirement before the full, your full retirement age, which is 67 in my case. 67. He said it's foolish to take it earlier. I'm not 100% sure I agree with that because you get less, but you draw it longer. But I don't know. He says that. He's an expert. I'm not. I'm just some shit-kicking dumbass. I don't know anything. But it seems like, you stretch it out farther so the payments are smaller. But it might be the same amount over the long haul, but you're not getting less per month. I don't know. He said, no, you'd be foolish. That's what Toney reported. Foolish to take it before your full retirement age, which is 67. What the? That's a million years from now. I don't know if I can hang on. I want to do this for another 6 years. Whoo. But anyway, and he has some other stuff too. I don't know. I feel like, we have this house. It's not completely paid for, but we definitely have some money. We'll get some money out of it when we sell it, and we have. I have a pension from Time Warner, just still sitting out there. It'll kick in when I'm 65. That'll help. And we'll both have Social Security. We'll have 401ks and all this stuff. But, I don't know. It was fairly discouraging news when she came back from that thing. I don't know. 67, that's the part that bugs me. I don't know. I told my dad that, and he goes, that's bullshit. I'm like, okay. I don't know if I would go with this the guy who's money, professional money manager, or somebody like me, just talking out my ass, or my dad. I'm not saying he's talking out his ass, but he's not he's not a professional money manager. But anyway, God. So that wasn't uplifting. I was hoping that she'd come out of it and think, I think we're in pretty good shape. I think we're good. I think we're right where we need to be. No, she came back with, no, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Well, that's terrible. Speaking of being old, I was thinking about if like an old person rock band. If you were to go out and start a new like an old person like me in my 60s, like early 60s, and if I went out and formed like a hard rock band, posted this on Facebook. I thought this was kind of funny. I'm going to go out and form a hard rock band with people 60 and above and call it Bone on Bone. What do you think about that? Is that a good band name for a band, for a group of people over 60? Bone on Bone. That's what I hear all the time from old people. Like, my knees are messed up. I have to get shots in my ass and my hips. It's just bone on bone. That's a phrase that you don't hear. You don't really hear that when you're in your 30s. But mister, you go above 60 and you hang around with people above 60, it's a phrase you hear. Bone on bone. So that's my hard rock band. Thankfully, I don't have any of those kinds of problems. When you don't lift a finger, your body doesn't really take, it doesn't take a licking, You know what I'm saying? I was at this place recently. I can't remember where it was, but anyway, I don't know. It was okay, I know what it was. It was this restaurant, and they had a bathroom that was like right off the dining room. It's like one of those deals that's just, I don't That got me in trouble down in Charleston, South Carolina that time. We were staying at that, me and my ex-girlfriend were staying at that woman's house, and the bathroom was like right off the kitchen. Everybody hung out in the kitchen, drinking wine, yucking it up. And there's this tiny little bathroom, which was the only one that I knew of in the whole house. I think that the woman who owned the house had like a full-blown, she had a full bathroom off her bedroom. That wasn't open to the general public. The only one that was open to the gen pop was that one right off the bathroom. And everybody's sitting right there. It's a hollow core door. It's going to amplify every noise, every sound, you know. So I told that story, and I tried to hold it. I didn't have a sit down for like 3 days in a row. Ended in tragedy. It was a terrible, terrible experience. Anyway, I told that story before. I won't get into it again. But so it was a similar situation. It was a restaurant, and there's like a unisex bathroom right off the dining room. That's not good. That's not a good setup. You know, it should be way off, away from where everybody's eating. God, because people go in there and shit that thing up. I mean, people don't care. People shit everywhere. I don't understand it. I mean, what are they like pigeons? It doesn't matter. I mean, they have absolutely no control over their bodies. I mean, they'll shit up at Ollie's. They'll shit up any restaurant. They'll shit up a grocery store. And it doesn't matter where you're at. There's people in there just shitting and shitting and shitting. Like, I don't know. But anyway, so a bathroom right where people are eating their entrees. It's not good. But I went in there. I had to go in there. Not for a sit down. That would never happen. I mean, just the thought of that makes me laugh. But I had to go in there for a stand up, you know. And they had this white noise machine in there. Have you ever encountered this? It's like this box. It's like plugged into the wall, and the thing's just going. Have you ever experienced this? Like a white noise machine that's to try to like neutralize the bathroom sounds. That shit's crazy. I thought that was crazy. I've never seen that before. Does it work? How could that possibly work? I mean, I don't know. Does it absorb the sounds and so it doesn't escape through the hollow core door? I don't know. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. Never seen that before. I remember a guy at work told me that his uncle used to go to a bar in Wilkes-Barre back in the 60s, 70s, probably 70s, back in the 70s. And they had like mics, they had microphones in the bathrooms. And hidden microphones, which I don't know how somebody didn't go to prison for this. I mean, it seems like it invades every kind of privacy law there is. But anyway, this place supposedly, this is what he told me. He said his uncle used to go there all the time. He used to drink there all the time. And they had microphones in there. And when somebody'd go in there that they knew that, you know, that was, you know, they're just like, you know, a regular would go in there. They would hit a button and the jukebox would silence. And then you would just hear the sounds of what was happening inside the bathroom. What in the world? Could that possibly be true? They were broadcasting from the men's room is what they were doing, you know, and into the bar, like over the loudspeakers. Whatever's happening in there. And then when they'd come out, everybody'd applaud and stuff. Oh, that's unbelievable. Another thing that irritates me. I know you might find this hard to believe. Yeah, so, okay, baseball's back, right? Baseball's back. The 4-day All-Star break is over, which is a terrible, terrible sucking void right in the middle of my summer. There's no baseball, nothing I give a shit about. I don't care about the All-Star game. It's stupid. And I certainly don't care about that home run derby. I mean, give me a break. What am I, 13 years old? That thing's stupid. And so I don't care. But now it's back. Reds are just terrible. I mean, they come right out of the All-Star break, terrible. And now they're talking about maybe selling. I don't know. It's the trade deficit, or the trade deadline, I should say, is happening at the end of the month, the end of July. So if you want to make a trade in Major League Baseball, you have to do it by the end of July. So we're right there. So, if you're out of it, if you feel like you're out of the race, you're not going to make it to the playoffs, you sell off. It's where you sell off players and try to get something in return, right? Or if you're a buyer, if you think all we need is this, we need an outfielder with a little bit of power, then you're a buyer. The Reds indicated last night that they're going to be sellers. They're going to sell off, throwing in the towel, raising the white flag on the whole season. Heartbreaking. But anyway, I've been watching every game, of course. I was off Friday, so I watched Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every game since they came out of the All-Star break. And these commercials, they show the same commercials over and over and over and over. I mean, it's like apparently they only have like 5 commercials, and they show them repeatedly. So there's one for Hyundai, right? The car company, the Korean car company, Hyundai. You know what I'm talking about. I had a Hyundai once. I had one of the original ones, the ones that Hyundai Excel, when they first came to the United States. Thing looked like a Mercedes Benz. As soon as it got to 100,000 miles, thing fully collapsed. Thing was a piece of shit. I think it was leaking oil. It was just a disaster. Everything started going wrong with it. I mean, it was a perfect car till it got to 100,000, and then everything stopped working. I think they've improved them since then. That was a long time ago. That's when I was in Greensboro. So anyway, so there's a commercial about Hyundai, an SUV that they sell. And it's on over and over. And I'm sitting there listening to this thing, and they say Hyundai. And these commercials are on all the time. You see them all the time, not just during baseball games. It's for Hyundai, right? Why do people all the time pronounce it Hyundai, something like that, Hyundai? Like, why do people say that? I mean, you can see, if you pay any attention to what's going on in the world, if you're not completely oblivious to everything that goes on around you, that commercial is on all the time. I see it all the time. And they pronounce it Hyundai. But tons of people call it Hyundai. Do you just walk through life just oblivious to everything, just shitting in grocery stores? Just like this shit's just falling out of you like a bird, and you pay no attention. You're oblivious to everything that goes on around you. God, see, this is why Toney doesn't like to go places with me. That hurt me. That was painful. Anyway. All right, I think we're at the end of this thing. I do have one call. It just came in today. Fresh off the presses. This is from our old buddy Ian. And before I get to the call, this is in reference. Part of this is in reference to the latest Patreon episode, in which I talk about 5 separate conversations that I've had to have in my life, in my working life, with people that smelled to high heavens, just have a BO problem or something, or a stink problem. I've had to have 5 separate conversations about that subject, and I talked about it in the previous episode over on Patreon, and this is partly in reaction to that. So here it is.
Hey Jeff, it's Ian in Scotland here. Glad to be back from Morocco. Morocco was hot. Wouldn't go back though. Lots of reasons. I'll leave it there. So yeah, stinky employees. I've got a stinky colleague just now, working part-time behind the bar in the Speedwell bar. And she's also hopeless. My boss, for some reason, employs people who aren't going to be good at the job. It's like, oh, any previous experience for working in the busiest bar in town? Nope. Okay, you're very short, not particularly attractive, quite dumpy, and you've got BO. Okay, you'll fit right in. And meanwhile, me and the rest of my colleagues have to work with that. I have worked with other people in the bar. Guys, this employee is a young woman. But I remember working with a guy, and I just went across the road to a shop and bought a can of Lynx or Axe or whatever, Team Spirit, and I just threw it at him. Came back, threw it at him. He caught it and went, oh. I went, yeah, oh. And that was that. One more thing, Jeff. I was watching a movie last night, and it's a question I've often asked myself. So there's a guy in it, an actor called Tom Noonan. And as soon as he appeared, I went, he's it, he's the killer. Because this guy gets typecast as a paedophile serial killer quite a lot. And I often wonder, like, what do the parents of these actors think, you know? It's like, oh, Tommy is in acting school, and he's secured a role in a movie. Oh yeah, what part is he playing? Paedophile serial killer. I don't know. I just think about that. And then people get typecast as that throughout their lives. Poor Tom Noonan praying for a role as a romantic lead. Sorry, mate. Paedophile serial killer again. So yeah, give me your thoughts on that. I don't know if you've ever thought about it. Probably not. Anyway, take care, mate. Keep up the work. Bye.
Like I said in the previous, it's generally men. So you got a woman, you got a female coworker who smells bad. See, that's relatively rare. I feel like when that happens, it's almost 100% males. You know, and I don't know that I don't know. That's I don't know what's going on there. That might be something. That might be something else. I don't know. I don't know. And hilarious description of the way your boss hires people at the bar. Dumpy. Perfect. When can you start? You smell bad. You have no experience. You have an off-putting personality. When can you start? That's I'm familiar with that too. I don't know. It's not good. Have you ever had to have that conversation, by the way? If you missed the episode, you should check it out. I think it's got some laughs in it. So and Tom Noonan, I'm not familiar with him, but people, I have to look him up. I bet if I look at his picture, I'll recognize him. It's you're a typecast. You are the perfect pedophile serial killer. When I think of pedophile serial killer, I think of your face. You know, you are the perfect from Central Casting. I mean, give me a Tom Noonan type. Give me a pedophile serial killer type. I don't know. That would be difficult to take. And if you play these people, that's a thing. If you play these people in the movies and in TV shows and stuff, and people see you in real life out on the street or something, they'll immediately, they'll think, oh my God, there's that pedophile. People can't tell the difference between they can't discern fiction from reality. They can't. Many people, some people can, but many can't. I don't know. So that wouldn't be good. I wouldn't want to have that hanging around my neck. Of course, if he's an actor and that's the only work he can get. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm a niche actor, pedophile. What niche? Not pedophile. Creepy ass, skeevy, make your skin crawl pedophile. Serial killer too. I mean, you can throw that in there too. I'm good at that. That's my niche. All right, there you go. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. No, I don't know. I guess it's one of those deals where you're in survival mode. You got to pay the bills. Yes, I'll take another. Yes. Child molester. You need a child molester? I'm your guy. Woo. That's horrific. But anyway, thanks Ian for calling in. I appreciate it as always, and give me a call back whenever you wanna. And if you guys want to call in like Ian, you can call me at 570-290-8151. That's the hotline, podcast hotline. By the way, I'm looking into maybe like doing some podcasting out of here, out of the house. I'm trying to find a place where I can go and record these podcasts in like maybe like a recording studio or a podcast studio or something. I'm having trouble. These gaps that sometimes happen, it's not because I'm not wanting to record. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. I'm looking into it. I got some emails out there waiting on responses. Might have a solution. Record this shit outside the house. That might save everything. That might be better. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated on that. But anyway, if you want to call the hotline, 570-290-8151. Give me a comment on something I said, or answer one of my questions, or give me kind of advice on something, or whatever's on your mind. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. Just give me a call round the clock, 570-290-8151. And if you want 2 episodes a week instead of a measly one, you can do that too over at patreon.com. It's Patreon, patreon.com/Jeff K. Sign up for a $4 or more monthly donation, and you'll get an extra episode every week, like the one about the stinky people that I talk to. I had to pull them into an office and talk to them about it. Say, hey, what the hell's going on? Do you not know how to wipe? What the hell? Is this something? You can hear the whole episode if you over at Patreon. So if you want to hear those episodes, they're full-length episodes just like these. I'm not smart enough to make them different. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. They're just like, I do one kind of episode. It's this kind of episode right here. And I do an extra one for patrons. And if you want to hear those episodes, patreon.com/Jeff K. It just costs $4 a month. It's nothing. And you get an extra episode every week. And also, surfreportpod.com is the web home of the podcast, so check that out as well. We're at the end of this thing. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, which will be over on the Patreon side, you guys have yourselves a fine, fine day. I'll see you. Bye. It's just bone on bone.